fights with the millions.
It's that world heavyweight flow. Championship belt wrapped around my waist, yo. I got that Ric Flair figure flow. Slam you on the pavement, that's why they call me Street Pro. Create heat on beat flow. Like Jordan after the second time he three-peated, folks. Get ready, set, let's go. Fight toe to toe, release the flow created by this mic pro. Lights, camera, get low. Action back to back. In fact, this monster will grow. Y'all better let him know. Man with the master plan, and you have no need to know. Hard like winter cold. Bust these fools, anything less than killing whack rappers is a crime. I stay trying to get mine. Stacking value, packing venues, winning over time. Ain't no fine timeline. Open your eyes, you're looking for the best, and this is what you find. Game is only for the bold. You came prepared, now get ready for the show.
Introducing from parts unknown, your UFC and combat sports insider, Clubby, the Combat G, and the sports professor. Yes. Welcome. I guess we should start off without the slides. What is up, y'all? How are we doing? Welcome. It is your favorite. Oh, I didn't even got my hat on. Your favorite combat sports duo. The star of the show, Clubby, the Combat G, your UFC and combat sports insider, and yours truly, the sports professor. We are here from Ball and Buds. You see it. You know what it's from. And we are here today on a very, very, very special episode. So I know you're probably thinking, for most of y'all that view us on Saturdays, you're probably thinking, why are they on a Thursday night? Well, we decided, since UFC 297 is a little on the light side of a card, that we were going to save our UFC energy for 298, 299, and 300, which are going to be amazingly stacked cards, so be ready for that. But we figured we'd bring you a very special Combat Sports Awards 2023. Clubby, the Combat G, will be handing out his Clubber Awards, or as I colloquially like to call them, the Clubbies. We'll leave it up to you. Oh, wow.
Hey, yo. What is that all
about? But first, before we get to that, there has been some breaking news this week about different fights that were signed. Can you tell us about those fights that were recently announced while I get everything prepared here?
Well, before we get to those fights, what's up, everybody? We're back. Ball and Buds, it's been a little minute. So today we're going to go over, what are the best fights of the year, knockouts, women's. We didn't leave the women out like some of you suckers do. We're going to talk about the women fights. We're going to talk about the male fights. One of the main fights I want to talk about that was going to happen, that's not going to happen. This is on the boxing side, where we had Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney going at it as far as about to set that fight up. And then you got Ryan Garcia hanging out with Mayweather, and now all of a sudden Ryan Garcia wants to fight Rolly Romero instead of fighting Devin Haney, which kind of pisses me off. I mean, I get you trying to take the easy way, but bro, Devin Haney is the new boogeyman at 140. And then you got Teofimo Lopez coming out here. He's fighting Ortiz, I think, in next month. And then he might fight Matias Puerto Rican Day Parade up in New York, the Madison Square Garden Arena, which is great. Because,
that's my new favorite fighter right there.
Oh, he's a beast. He's a monster. And, I haven't seen a dark-skinned Puerto Rican like that since Tito Trinidad, you know what I'm saying? So he's representing for the Afro-Latinos out there. We see y'all.
He really is. He is.
But
and
yeah,
and then what about the heavyweight fight that was recently announced as well?
Oh, I thought we were going to – we'll go with that. We'll touch on that now. Just talk about the Joshua Ngannou fight.
Yeah. We'll get into that later, but just as like that was breaking news that was out this week.
Yeah. I thought Joshua – so we got Usyk and Fury fight next month for the Undisputed. And word on the street is that they're going to strip Usyk and give it that belt to Philip – I think it's Philip Popper. I can't pronounce his name, but give it to another heavyweight who fought on the card that Wilder lost on and Joshua won. But I thought he's going to be, two-time heavyweight champion or whatever, 3-time. But He's going with the money, going against Ngannou. You know what I'm saying? They got all we told everybody on a couple episodes ago, they got all the money out there in Saudi Arabia. So they're putting the money out there, putting the good fights out there. So that's what we've been waiting for. Las Vegas better watch out, okay? Because the new fight capital might be over in Saudi Arabia. You know, I was out there last week. I was out there last week. I was talking to a few people, but you know, they didn't understand what I was saying. But that's another story. But yeah, so I can't wait. It's gonna be crazy because I believe Fury and Usyk, that's gonna be in Saudi Arabia also. All the big fights are going over there. And just like Inoue out in Japan, you know, they sell out 20, 30 seat arenas. Okay, we're not seeing that here in the States. You know, also shout out to Ian in Australia. You got Tim Tszyu, Katsuzu's son, selling out arenas out in Australia. Same with Cambosa. So the American people, you need to pay attention. Start going to fights. And y'all be still in the fights too. Y'all being dusty out there. Order the fights. Support the fighters, okay? All right. Tired of you haters out there writing bad comments with dirty fingernails. All right. I'm watching you. Okay. Clubby D sees it all.
Yeah, we see you, Beta Bob. We know you. We hope you saw that little retort that Clubber D had for you, trying to act like you got more boxing knowledge than the master.
Oh, man. I mean, it's sensitive. I know a lot of sensitive fans out there. See, this is the thing. A lot of you people don't brush your teeth, okay? I was at somebody's house the other day. They had a Colgate-flavored K-Cup for their coffee. I know your breath stunk so bad that you got a Colgate-flavored K-Cup. But some of you guys with bad breath and dirty fingernails, y'all need to stop this stuff, okay? All right? Instead of sugar in your coffee, you're sprinkling dry aged scope. This is ridiculous. Y'all need to stop this stuff, all right? You got bad breath and dirty fingernails. Stop it.
That must be a new one in the arsenal because I have not heard the K-Cup one yet. I have not heard the K-Cup one.
It's similar to the Colgate pillow, sleeping with your mouth open, you know what I'm saying, or prescription Tic Tac. But you know, somebody's going to steal these, and I'm seeing on Facebook later, it's going to piss me off.
Hold on. You know what I got for you real quick?
Right here first. Hey, like I tried to tell him.
What is that?
I took every canteen laugh that is outrageous and I put in a little 15-second sound.
Hey, shout out to Canteen, shout out to Flo, shout out to Hot Take Jake, yo.
Yeah.
Bottom Line Sports, you guys aren't already signed into them. You guys should be already in with Bottom Line Sports, subscribed and all that good stuff. Fast growing channel. I mean, they got like 15,000 subscribers in like 2 days. They're growing. They're getting bigger than the Cat Williams interview with Shannon Sharp. So if you're not an A1 day one, get on right now, okay?
Yes, sir. That's correct. So go to the Bottom Line Sports. That's the Bottom Line Sports. Go ahead and join us on Facebook. Join our group. We talk trash, talk all the sports, have a great time. Also, if you're on YouTube right now, subscribe at Ball and Buds. If you're already there, just hit that subscribe button or smash it, as the kids say, whatever you want. But go ahead and subscribe. Make sure you stay tuned in with us. By the way, as a heads up, our next show will be coming for UFC 298. Alexander the Great Volkanovski versus Ilia Topuria, and that will be on February the 17th. So just about 5 weeks from now. So be ready for that next show. That'll be a regular Saturday episode. That being said, also
we might pop up in between that. We might be popping up before that. You never know.
We may. You never know. You just gotta watch out for it. Sometimes we just decide to pop up. What is going on? I cannot see your name. It just says Facebook user here, but salute to whoever you are. We appreciate you joining us. Now, let's get into what you came for. The award show. Let's get it going. Let's add it to the stage. A little bit of background music, a little high budget award. Look, I'm not the Grammys or the Emmys, okay? I don't got money to be getting high graphic designs. I made these all by hand. Shout out the snail. Let's go. All right. So these are your 2023 Combat Sports Awards according to Clubber D, the Combat G. If you have a problem with him, you know what? Go ahead and email him right there at the top. ballandbuds@mbpsmb.com, or just leave a comment on YouTube or Facebook. We'll see it, and he will definitely get back to you and roast you with a short. Word? All right.
And hold on, Omar, before we keep going up. If somebody wants to ask me why I take a picture with Jollibee behind me, it's because I have replenished after leaving your mother's house if you're a hater. But let's keep it going. Let's keep it going.
Jollibee gives the
there we
Jollibee.
go. There we go.
Love you, Dale. All right. Cool. So let us get into it. Our first category today is going to be, oh, look at that other graphic I did, the Clubbies. Our first category of the day will be boxing fight. And so for our boxing fight, our 4 contenders for boxing fight of 2023 are, in your upper left corner, Artur Beterbiev defeats Anthony Yarde. In your second box, you got Katie Taylor, who defeated Chantel Cameron in their second matchup. Down in your third box, you have Jaime Munguia, who fought Sergey Davichenko. I really hope I didn't bruise that up, my friend. And then lastly, in your last box, we got Oshaki Foster who defeated Eduardo Hernandez. So, Clubber D, give us your thoughts on some of these fights or whatever you want, and then your winner, my friend.
Man, these fights are barn burners. Each one, okay, so Artur Beterbiev, who is the boogeyman, this man is 19-0 with 19 knockouts, and light heavyweight unified champion, has all the 3 major belts. Only belt he needs is Dimitri Bivol's belt. They're supposed to fight each other later this year if Artur Beterbiev gets past Liam Smith. They fight this Saturday on ESPN. This guy's no joke. The thing about him, they might be trying to age him out because he is 38 years old. But yeah, the fight against Yarde, you actually saw Beterbiev hurt for a change. He was actually hurt in this fight. He didn't go down, but he was hurt. And they were going back and forth. But Beterbiev gave him some NyQuil, so we had to go to sleep. The second fight we got, let's talk about Katie Taylor. She was going back to get her undisputed crown at 135. She had lost to Chantel. The fight was supposed to be Amanda Serrano, but Serrano got hurt. This is Katie Taylor's first fight as a professional in Ireland. I'm sorry, her homeland in Ireland. I was about to go, but they seized me at the airport because I couldn't bring my seasoning. But yeah, this fight was amazing. She got her belts back at 135. She's the unified champ again. This fight went all the way, but it was a unanimous decision. Now, this third fight, I'm a big Jaime Munguia fan. He was supposed to fight Charlo. That fell through. I didn't like the way he ducked Demetrius Andrade, but Jaime Munguia is like Virgil Ortiz, a guy Golden Boy has molded to be the next big thing. And he might fight Canelo in May, which I'm not agreeing with, but he fought Sergey Davichenko, and this fight went back and forth. I personally had Sergey winning by 1 point or a draw, but they gave it to Jaime Munguia. This fight was amazing. It was good, back and forth. Sergey going down, coming up, rocking Munguia rocking him. This was an amazing fight. And last but not least,
they were having what you call in the boxing world, I believe, phone booth exchanges. I believe is what that is.
I thought you were going to say a slobber knocker for Jim Ross, but
slobber knocker.
I like that too. Slobber knocker. I knew a girl. That was a nickname. But anyway, so Oshaki Foster. Now, don't get me off. Pause on that. Oshaki Foster. The reason why this is the man, because he won the belt, went down to Mexico, fought in a smaller ring, came back and won in the 12th round when he was dominating in this fight, and they still had him down in the scorecards. This was an inside screw job, and this man prevailed and won in a knockout in the 12th round. Amazing fight. Oshaki Foster, that dude is the man. But, Omar, the winner is... Oh, you heard it faintly. You heard it faintly. We need to crank that up.
Hold on. We need to crank that up a little bit. Hold up.
Bangers.
There we go.
Club
there we go.
Bangers. Clubs Bangers. Club.
We're going to speed that up next time.
Yep. All right.
Yeah, let's screw the soundbite. But yeah, that's your... Okay. All right. Now we got funny fingers. Now we got Oshaki Foster. Look at that.
Let's
that
go.
Is the man. Oshaki Foster. That's who I have Fight of the Year. Fight of the Year male boxing. Oshaki Foster. This man came back in enemy territory. The judges had him down when he was really up and came out with a 12th round TKO. Oshaki Foster. I will send you a clubby in the mail.
He's going to send you a clubby in the mail. Yes. And you know what? And you were exactly right. The best part about this was that Oshaki Foster went into enemy territory. He went into Mexico and had the whole crowd against him, and he still pulled out a 12th round victory. And to do that, to muster up the courage and come back to fight, to do things like that, that's pretty amazing. If you ask me.
Commentators, everybody, it was terrible. I was so pissed off. There's a lot of bias in boxing. Yes, Tim Bradley's another one of those, but like the bias in this fight was just ridiculous. And the fact that he came back and won, he's the man. That's my guy. Before we move on, I'm a little thirsty.
Oh, what do you have there?
Oh, just a little Stanley Cup I got for someone's mom's house.
Wait a second. Is that the thing that people have been going nuts for in stores?
Yeah, a lot of soccer moms. Think about Stanley Cups. I'm going to tangent about Stanley Cups. A lot of you people waiting for Stanley Cups aren't even hydrated. Okay, you guys look very
right.
You guys look dehydrated and dusty. Okay, so why do you guys want a cup that you're going to walk around with and have nothing in? And now people are putting ice cream in them. Come on now, please do better, people. Do better.
It's supposed to be a hydration cup, people. Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, there is your winner for fight boxing match of the year. Oshaki Foster, TKO 12 over Eduardo Hernandez. Moving on to our next award, we are giving out boxing knockout. And so, man, there were some dingas when it came to boxing knockouts. And so the first knockout that we have is, as you can see up at the top, anytime that David Morrell went to town on an opponent, in 2023, he had multiple knockouts, right? That were really, really good. Is that what you told me?
So people who don't know, he fought on the Tank Davis Ryan Garcia undercard. He knocked a dude out in the first round. David Morrell is 10-0 with 9 knockouts. Okay, he's only went the distance once. So it's like his third fight. He is the 168-pound, which is Canelo Alvarez's division, WBA regular champion. So he is he should be fighting Canelo like 2 years. He's been waiting in the wing since 2021. So he's right there. I don't know why Canelo. I mean, whatever. Canelo wants to fight. Canelo wants to fight. But this man fought twice this past year. Went one round, went 2 rounds the next time. He is no joke. If Benavidez does not get Canelo next, they should fight because they already been talking mess to each other. No. That's who I like. But yeah,
we definitely
David Morrell,
see that.
watch out for him.
Shout out Daniel Barry. We appreciate you tuning in as always. Hey, y'all, tap in with Daniel Barry Sports Highlights. Go check them out and go make sure you subscribe to their channel. We appreciate the support. The second matchup here in your second box is going to be when Jose Valenzuela knocked out Chris Colbert. In your third box down here in the bottom left, you have what was actually submitted by yours truly. I had to ask Clubber D if I could submit one of my own. But when this man, Junto Nakatani, knocked out Andrew Maloney, as you can see from the picture, it was Nathan Nice. It was my man. I thought he almost broke both legs, but that's enough about that. And then last, our fourth contender is Zheli Zhang, who actually knocked out Joe Joyce twice.
Yes.
And both of them were crucial. So, Clubber D, please give us your thoughts on these boxing KOs and your winner.
Well, first of all, I'll start with Nakatani. I haven't heard a name like that since, what was it, Die Hard Part 1 of The Building. But anyways, he hit him so hard. If you look in the still, it looks like he's doing a hip thruster. He's like one of those women that are wasting the bench and doing a hip thruster in front of the bench. And if any of you men do that in public, I'm judging. But yeah, look like he's doing a hip thruster. Like he looks like an extra on breaking. Like he's about to do he's about to spin on his back, do some breakdancing.
He looks like The Exorcist. Like he's like possessed by a demon.
It's ridiculous. Like he hit him so bad, he turned into a spider cricket. And from around here know what I'm talking about. But he literally looks like a spider cricket. But yeah. And Chris Colbert. Okay. Chris Colbert, they fought earlier. They gave it to Chris Colbert. He did not win that fight. And he was talking so much mess in a press conference saying bet 50, I'm gonna win bet 50, iced him. This man face first on the lower rope, just as stiff as a board. Bad. Chris Colbert went to sleep, and hopefully it's his career because he's not that good. He had a good amateur career, and then it went to his head. Now he's just not a good fighter anymore. And Yang, geez Louise, I mean, he punted. Joe Joyce is no joke. Okay, he's good British heavyweight. A lot of power, and just to let y'all know, Yang should be fighting Deontay Wilder on the Anthony Joshua on the undercard of Ngannou. So
I didn't know that.
That should be going on. And That's a fight where Wilder.
Two heavy hitters, baby. Two heavy hitters.
Well, if Wilder wants to fight again, act like he wants to fight, stop being a prima donna. But Yang, he's an old guy. He's 40 years old, I believe. He ain't no joke, okay? So I don't know if we're gonna do the soundbite again, so I just go straight to the winner is.
No, you know, I'm gonna try it again. We're gonna give it another shot, real quick.
Still drawn out.
Clubs bangers.
And then boom.
Clubs bangers.
He's a little drawn out.
Boom. It's not that bad. It's okay.
There we go. Twice knocked him out. If you look at the second time, look at the bigger picture right there. He looks like he just lost the contact. He just woke up after a long night. A contact fell out. He's drunk, hungover. Someone just yanked the sheets off and like, hey, what's going on? What was happening? What'd you do? Looking up at the ref like, why are you in my room? Okay, Joe Joyce. They call the Juggernaut because he likes to come forward, but golly, he went to sleep. Okay,
Twice.
And woke up like, what's going on? Twice in 1 year. So that's why I'm giving it to Yang. Okay, if you guys want to see a good clip, just YouTube that. Or if you have ESPN, go in there boxing. Both fights are there. You'll love it. If you like knockouts.
My man in that second picture is in the metaverse, son. He is. Yeah. He thinks he's like doing like he thinks he's like in a Call of Duty metaverse game where he has to like bear crawl.
Oh yeah, he's bear crawling. he's face down. You know what up? I'm not gonna say it, but you know what I'm talking about.
These nuts.
Oh hey yo.
Got him.
Say he's looking for his contact. You can't see it.
You heard it.
Hey, like I tried to tell him.
I'm going to take those sound bites from you, sir.
That cracks me up every time. All right, anyways. All right. Let's go on to our next category, MMA Fight of 2023. And so we have some really good contenders here in this category for MMA Fight. First of all, on your upper left, we have Alexander Pantoja, who defeated Brandon Moreno at UFC 290. Then in your picture the second picture to your right on the top, you've got Justin Gaethje when he defeated Rafael Fiziev, and not just defeated him. I'm sure Clubby will get into this, but made him look like some roast beef, if you know what I'm talking about. UFC 286, that was that. Your third picture on the bottom left was when Dustin Poirier and Michael Chandler went to war in UFC 281. And then finally, in the last picture on your bottom right, we have Islam Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski. And yes, you may be saying they fought twice. We are specifically referring to their first battle, UFC 284.
Yes, sir.
My friend Clubby, what do you think about these fights, and who is your winner?
Man, all these fights were great. I mean, anytime you get Chandler and Poirier and they're in a fight, period, same with Gaethje, is going to be phenomenal. When Chandler had Poirier rocked, but unfortunately, Chandler's problem, I think, because he came to UFC a little bit late, his style, he can't take a beating, and and he's a short, compact guy. A lot of muscles go to a lot of blood goes to your muscles really fast, so you don't really last too long. I'm eager to see how he fights Conor. I think Conor's kind of done, but that fight against Poirier was amazing. Poirier got that win. Pantoja against Moreno, barn burner, amazing stamp on it. Great fight. Okay, great fight. And Pantoja, he has a weird style when he looks butt tired, and he's still throwing haymakers at you. And he's great on the ground, but he'd rather stand up with you. The fight with Gaethje and Freeze, probably butcher his name, but this is supposed to be kind of Gaethje's last chance, okay? Because he was coming off a loss, and he's older. He's he's known to be he's a wrestler, but he likes to brawl. His knees are kind of shot. Also, he had a lot of injuries. He's Kamaru Usman's training partner, and Gaethje. This was the fight where they're like, okay, yeah, he's probably gonna get worked by Fiziev, but Fizie's eye looked disgusting. Okay, I think he broke his orbital socket, but it looked like mincemeat. All right. It looked like, one of the ladies I knew back in the day, we used to make fun of, call her, Arby's or whatever. But 100 lines and running. It was disgusting. Broke his orbital socket. But, roast beef. Yeah, it was I know her. But so Gaethje was the man. He can't come and won this fight. But let's talk about Alexander the Great against Islam. So this fight, Islam had just beat, I believe it was Oliveira, got the belt in Abu Dhabi. Then Alexander came in the ring, said, I want to fight you, or cage. and they fought down in Perth, Australia. So he had his home. He was coming up 10 pounds to fight him.
Everybody was cheering for him. It was.
Oh yeah, it was going crazy. I saw somebody throw up a dingo. I was like, "What is that? A dingo?" Somebody threw a damn dingo in the crowd, and they had all the Joeys all around, jumping around, doing backflips and stuff. I was like, man, they live out there in Australia. But he Islam made fun of Australian wrestling. He got taken down by Alexander Volkanovski. This was a good fight, a very damn good fight. And even though they gave it to Islam, a lot of people say it could have been a draw, and I agree with that. Yeah, but Islam came out as the winner. This was a damn good fight. But there can only be one.
Clubs, bangers. Clubs, bangers.
Yes.
Come on, Mike. There we go. Bam! Islam. There we go. Even though he beat him twice, the second fight shouldn't really count because, that was like 15-day, 12-day notice, and Alexander didn't even look right. But I gave it to Islam going into enemy territory, defending his belt, you know what I'm saying, and proving why he is top 5 MMA fighter in the world right now. But yeah, Islam is the winner. You will get something in the mail.
And as a follow-up, we are hoping to see this fight possibly again this year, or
I hope not.
Do we need to wait another? Or we never want to see this fight again? Or
I don't need to see it again. I think Volkanovski is like, what was he, 33, 34? He's a little long in the tooth. Islam,
but he also, like you said, didn't have much of a camp, so maybe we need to give him a better camp for the second time.
We already know what it is. He should stay at 145 is his weight class. He dominates at 155. How about you worry about that noise that you got going on over there? But is Alexander is he's a 145er. He dominates that weight class. He move up to 155. We just saw what happened. Even if he has another camp, I don't see him doing anything. I think Islam's going to move up possibly after he defends the belt again to 170. Who knows? I mean, I'll see it again if Volkanovski fights another top 155er. Proves himself, is comfortable at that weight, and then you know what I'm saying. But there's no guarantee he's going to get through a Topuria next, who's a beast. So
no, that's a good point. Yeah,
he's in a crossroads of his career right now. He's in a crossroads. He is the best 145 pounder ever, but he's in a crossroads of his career right now.
Yeah, no, you make a great point that he is going to have a very, very tough matchup with Ilia Topuria next month, and a lot of people are already saying that they could definitely see the upset being pulled. So that might be something we need to keep an eye on. Next is our MMA knockout of the year. And so up in your upper left corner, we have when Israel Adesanya met AP Alex Pereira in their second fight at UFC 287, when Adesanya got a crucial knockout. Our second one on our upper right is when Josh Emmett slumped, and I mean slumped,
it's bad.
Bryce Mitchell at UFC 296. Then we have another slumping when Sean O'Malley put Aljamain Sterling to sleep at UFC.
I called it
290.
I called the round and everything.
Did call. Which, by the way, I meant to do this before the show, but I am going to do this for everybody. I'm going to go back and watch all the streams and get your whole record from last year. I meant to do that.
We don't need to do that. We don't need to do that. We don't need to do that.
Okay. All right. Never mind.
I think it's bad, but it's okay. I am the after the fact king, so it don't matter.
And then the final fight in your lower right corner, your lower left corner, was when Patchy Mitts fought. What is it? How do you say his first name? Stotts?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What was it again? Raphael? Okay. Yeah. I thought it was something different. Raphael Stotts at Bellator 290. So, my friend, what do you have to say about these KOs, and who is your winner?
I'll go with the easiest one with Sean O'Malley, even though I did call that second round. But, I thought Aljamain was going to take him down, do a lot more wrestling, which he wanted to stand up for some weird reason. But O'Malley would hit him with one of the cleanest right hands. And the Funk Master thought he was just back in either Jersey or Mexico. I don't know. I saw a beef patty fly out. He got hit. Okay. And he woke up like, what happened? Like one of those type deals. Okay. That was a great, beautiful knockout. Patchy Mitts and Raphael Styles. That was great because that knee came out of nowhere. And it was earlier in that fight.
Look at the
Like,
picture. You can see how bad it catches.
rigor mortis set in. Like, he was out. Like, he wasn't out. He was out. You could have wrote on his face, like when people got drunk back in the day, you could have drew on him. Anything you wanted. He was out of this world. The shadow realm. He, like, when Frodo put the ring on, that's where he was. He was hanging out with one of the shadows. He was doing one of those things. That's how bad he was out. Okay. But I mean, geez, I wish we could just, because of copyright stuff, I wish we could just show these. But if you guys are bored, like knockouts, check any of these fights out. Please do yourself a service. Do yourself a favor. Sprinkle some on, make it a flavor. Just watch these knockouts, okay? But the last one, Pereira against Israel Adesanya. And Adesanya, you know, this is a very personal fight for him because, oh, not the last one. I'm sorry, we still got Emmett. This fight for him, you know, he had lost to this man 3 times already and got knocked out the last time. He'd been knocked out twice. And this he needed this win. And the fact that he got all that off his chest and slept him. I mean, he really looks like he's waking up right now, just stretching, you know, like if you put chalk around him, you would think he was, you know, something bad happened. And the fact that he did the whole arrow thing that Pereira likes to do when he's walking to the cage. Now, the thing about his son, I'm a petty person, so I probably would have done the same thing about the son passing out in front of the son, like mimicking his dad. But
I forgot about that.
Because the son did that to him when he got knocked out in kickboxing. So, but yeah, that fight, that knockout was phenomenal. And the last but not least, because it happened, the last pay-per-view or UFC event this year was Emmett knocking out was it Bryce?
Bryce Mitchell.
Bryce Mitchell. Okay, well, he knocked him, like his toes started seizing up, okay, like he had heat stroke. His body was seized. Rigor mortis has set in. Even when he got up, Joe Rogan was like, somebody stop him because he's wobbling around. He's going to tear his ACL. It was that bad.
Jeez,
like,
please.
He shouldn't fight for another year. He got knocked out that bad, okay? That was probably the cleanest. What is going on? He's one of the cleanest hits I've seen. Slow down there, fingers. But the winner is
Clubs Bangers. Clubs Bangers. Clubs Bangers.
Quiet down, Dion. There we go. Look at this. Look at his toes right there. Look at his toes.
Look at it.
You see
Look
how
at the
they're
hands.
seized up right
he
there?
looks like he's in sleeping position. He's like hands.
If you look at it closely with his hands, he's playing the violin. He's playing the world's self violin. That's what you do when you get knocked out like that. He is playing the violin. And if you look at Emmett, he's like, play some more. Come on. Look at like it is one of those things. All right.
In his face.
One of the worst knockouts I've seen. One of the worst knockouts I've seen. But yes. I tell you, we got some comments up there, and I do not know who that is, but thank you for watching.
Let's go ahead and see what comments we got. What up? Sorry, not sure who you are because it just says Facebook user, but we appreciate you turning in. The Clubbies. Yes. He likes to call them the Clubbers, but I call them the Clubbies because, you know, like the Grammys and the Emmys, you got to have the Y on the end. So the Clubbies. We hope it is pretty corny, and we hope you enjoyed so far. Just as a recap, I'm going to go through for anybody just turning in. Our first one was our boxing fight. The winner was Oshaki Foster, who beat Eduardo Hernandez with a TK on the 12th round. By the way, Clubber D had some honorable mentions for that. We have the Devin Haney versus Lomachenko fight, the Ngannou versus Fury fight, and as well, I had an honorable mention, one of my favorite fights of last year, Emmanuel Navarrete versus Oscar Valdez in a 12-round absolute war. And then also in our MMA fight, Clubber D has an honorable mention, Brennan Ward versus Sabah Homasi at Bellator 290. And then finally, the reason I bring all these honorable mentions up moving into our MMA KO is because there's a special honorable mention that you want to talk about, Clubber D. And that was the honorable mention of MMA KO. And it was from the match of UFC 290, a retirement match of sorts. Not of sorts, it was a retirement match. Lawler versus Price. Give us your thoughts on this honorable mention KO. And
that's Papa Ruben. What up, Rube? I see you out there. So I got that as honorable mention because that was Robbie Lawler's last fight. And you know, Robbie Lawler, he's a pioneer. He's one of the best. He's one of the fighters when the cage shut, he was coming at you. Pause, that sounded weird, but he was trying to take your head off. All right. He's knocked out quite a few people in his day. And for him to go out on a knockout by knocking somebody out in the way he did, I had to mention Robbie Lawler and an amazing career he's had. I mean, he's an ex-champion in Strikeforce and in the UFC. If you ever want to see a good fight, you can watch him versus Rory McDonald when he basically Rory McDonald's nose was sideways and he just couldn't take it no more. They stopped the fight. You know what I'm saying? It was probably one of the better fights I've seen. It's in my top 10 fights of all MMA fights of all time. But Robbie Lawler, one hell of a career. I had to put him on honorable mention because he knocked one of Nico Price's braids loose. It was that bad of a knockout.
Hey, we are glad you are here, GB. We appreciate you as always turning in. You be bringing the comments, so we really appreciate it. This I can't agree with though. I can't agree with that.
We're not even talking about football, so I'm sorry. So
and I can't agree with you because it's Raiders all day. You know that. Come on.
Ain't even talk about football. Let's calm down.
Now, GB does says that not well versed in combat sports other than countrymen fights like Magsayo and Donaire Case. I don't know how to say his last name.
Yeah, that's fine. He's Filipino Flash. Donito Donaire. He was a great fighter. He's supposed to be like the Pacquiao heir apparent.
Oh yeah, Donito. Donaire.
Yeah, he's fought Magsayo. He beat Gary Russell. I thought couldn't be the draw, but yeah, okay. Well, shout out to the Philippines and everybody. Okay.
All right. Yeah, that. All right. Awesome. Well, thank you for turning in.
Filipino.
Turning in, GB. We appreciate it. And yes, we supporting our people. We love you. Thank you at Ball and Buds, everybody there. That being said, let's move on to our next category, which is going to be our MMA females. And so for this, it was very hard to pick four. A lot of good fights this year, a lot of good fighters. But let's go ahead and start from the upper left. In the upper left, we have, I believe, a person who may have served in the Navy with our own Clubber D.
She was a Marine. She was a Marine. I think she was on the ship. And she was on the same ship. Who knows? But yeah, Liz Carmouche.
There is a rumor out there that Clubber D and Liz Carmouche may have been on the same ship together, may have hung out together. We are not sure.
No, definitely not. We like the same thing. We like the same thing. We stop it right there.
Oh, got that. All right. Never mind. Following very closely as to what Clubber D is saying.
Yeah, there you go.
Liz Carmouche is up there. In your second box on the top right, we have Alexa Grasso, who defeated Valentina Shevchenko at UFC 285 in March, with obviously, if you know, and Clubber D will get into, both Grasso is a Mexican-born champ, which I know he's going to talk more about, and also Shevchenko has been one of the greatest for a very, very long time. So I know he'll go into that. That also being said, in our third contender down here on your bottom left, we have the GOAT, right? I mean, I think by now we can say she's probably the GOAT, maybe. Amanda Nunes. There may be some debate on that, if you're looking at some others, but I would say she's up there. Amanda Nunes. And then finally, in your bottom right, we have Larissa Pacheco, who had an amazing year. Stunning. The favorite in the PFL, Kayla Harrison, in the lightweight finals. So, Clubber D, what are your thoughts on these four amazing female fighters, and who is your winner?
Hats off to all of them. Okay, like it's from. So I want Liz Carmouche in there because she was in the UFC. She was Strikeforce. She's old school. She was actually Ronda Rousey's first fight in the UFC. She's been around, and now she's gotten her gold with Bellator, and she's the reigning champion. She's
been around that long.
Yeah, she's close to 40. She's up there.
Been around a long time.
She's up there. But Liz Carmouche, she won both her fights this year. She had beat the ex-champ Leila McFarland out of Hawaii. So she's a beast. She deserves her flowers. Grasso beat the GOAT. She beat Valentina Shevchenko, and Valentina had ran through everybody at that weight class. Only time she had a competition was when she had to move up to fight Amanda Nunes. And even that fight was controversial as far as the scoring. So the fact that she beat Valentina Shevchenko and the way she beat her with the rear naked choke, you have to put her there. And then you got Nunes. She only fought once, but it was her final fight. And with her career, we have to give her flowers, okay? That is probably the best woman fighter Only reason I say 1A, 1B, because I would like to see another fight or another 2 fights against Cyborg. Cyborg is probably one of my favorite female fighters of all time. MMA and boxing. I just love the way Cyborg goes about business. She's no joke. She wants to get in and out, no frills. She had called me the other day, but I changed my number. But yeah, so I had to put Amanda Nunez up there.
Wait,
okay?
How would you know she called if you changed your number?
Because I put people in there as a. So our buddy Clutch calls the homie Lil Shane, and every time Clutch calls Shane has their spam likely. So I put that for certain people that I don't rock with no more. I spam likely or something like that. That's what I do. You know what I'm saying? If you're dusty, it just might be like a speck of dust just come across the screen. I know. But the last person, Larissa Pacheco. So she beat Kayla Harrison. Kayla Harrison. So if you're not familiar with PFL does a tournament style to where the winner of the tournament gets $1 million. I love it. It's phenomenal. So I think MMA should be like that because they're fighting for that money, and you're making a lot more that you'd make any other promotion. You know, so she beat Kayla Harrison. Kayla Harrison won that 145 prize 2 years in a row, and she had lost to Kayla, and now she's finally beat her. And the thing with Pacheco is, you know, Kayla. Small story, was supposed to go to the UFC and fight Amanda Nunez. They were actual old training partners, and then Amanda Nunez went to another gym. But when Amanda Nunez lost, that's when that blonde-haired, well-put-together woman who was like, "Oh my God, that's Kayla Harrison," because she was going to sign to the UFC. But since Nunez lost, she assigned back to PFL, and now she lost the tournament. So stuff happens. But yeah, so I had to put her up there because she deserves her flowers as well as Liz Carmouche, even though they're not in the UFC, which everyone knows. But PFL just bought Bellator, so that's why you're seeing
huge.
Soon you're going to see the merging fights, and you're seeing Bellator fighters hopping into the UFC, like Michael Venom Page. He's fighting Kevin Holland, which should be phenomenal.
Oh, wow.
So you're going to see a lot of, you know, I want to see where the Pitbull brothers go, and Antonio McKee. Anthony McKee, I want to see where he goes as well. But yeah, Bellator has some good fighters. They're either going to be absorbed by PFL, which is on Showtime, and I'm not going to say that. I'll say that later for her. But Jake Paul said he's going to be fighting there as well. Francis Ngannou has signed, but Francis Ngannou's making money doing boxing, and they're giving him the liberty to do that, unlike Dana White. You know, so PFL's going to be on the rise, and which is weird. They're on ESPN just like UFC. I'm pretty sure Dana's not happy about that.
Ooh,
pretty sure he's unhappy.
Probably not.
Well, let's get to the winner.
Clubs Bangers. Clubs Bangers.
There we go. Bam! You see her. I mean, look at her. That's how a champion looks. Okay, Alexa Grasso, she beat the person nobody thought she would beat. Almost like Oshaki Foster, Alexa Grasso beat the GOAT. And the way she beat her with a rear naked choke, nobody saw it coming. Okay, nobody saw it coming. I thought it was gonna be another another girl they're sacrificing to Valentina Shevchenko, but no. She said, "Screw that! I don't care about your hype. I'm gonna beat you," and that's what she did. And she deserves to be Fighter of the Year, and probably one of the biggest upsets of the year across the sport of combat sports. She has to be nominated for that. Okay, along with another person we'll mention later. But that is why she's my MMA Female Fighter of the Year. If you don't like me, too bad. But you know what? I'm sending you a Clubby in the mail.
Yeah, she hopped on her back like a spider monkey, and I think I actually texted you at that time, and I was like, damn, I don't think I've ever seen somebody get a rear naked choke like that.
So yeah, it was pretty wild. You know, I was actually where was I? I was after I met Joe Montana. I was at the homie Kevin's house. We watched it at his house.
Yep, and you did mention earlier, which we must note again because it's very important. She is the first Mexican-born UFC champion.
That is correct. There hasn't been that much parity or diversity in the women's champions because a lot of the champions just have been like one or two people because the division is fairly new, but it's just that Shevchenko's just been dominating this whole time. Like, I don't even think there's been a I'm trying to think there. I don't know, there's been an American one. May have been. I'm just not, thinking too hard. I think Shevchenko, may have been an American champ, but yeah, she joins Brandon Moreno. I think Moreno's Mexican board. He's Mexican board. Cain Velasquez from America, but he has the brown pride tattoo. He was a UFC heavyweight champion. So there's not many champions. Excuse me. There hasn't been that many champions in this modern era that weren't born on American soil. There has been obviously with like Islam and Khabib and Adesanya and people like that. But I love seeing other countries getting the belt because it's not dominated by America or Brazil or things of that nature. You got every mixed martial arts is all over the globe. Okay, so I'm glad seeing all these new champions.
Yes, sir. And yeah, a bit really big for her country to be able to represent them. Not only that, but it was done on the UFC's Mexican Heritage Night, UFC Noche. Excuse me.
Hey, she had the power of La Raza. Orale! La Viva La Raza!
Shout out Conan!
Let's go.
We love you, K-Dog. Shout out Conan, K100.
Shout out to Mexico. All the Mexican, proud Mexican Americans, Mexicans. Hey, shout out to everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yeah. All right. Moving on
real quick.
Moving on to our MMA male fighter of the year. In your upper left corner, you have the new interim, which we'll talk a little bit about this later as well, but the new interim heavyweight champion of UFC, Tom Aspinall. In your upper right hand corner, you have Leon Edwards, who just came in and took the belt off of one of the best, Kamaru Usman, and then defended it after that. And then we also have in your lower left hand, Islam Makhachev, who Clubber D talked about earlier, did beat Alexander Volkanovski twice after beating Oliveira before that. So a fantastic year there. And then finally in your lower right corner, we have the fourth candidate for MMA Male Fighter of the Year, Sean Strickland. Say what you will about him, about how he acts in interviews, about things he might say in conferences or social media, the remarks, whatever. He is an excellent fighter and became the UFC middleweight champion after defeating Israel Adesanya, one of the greats as well. So, wow, a lot of tough competition here. Clubber D, who is your winner, and what do you think about these fighters?
Well, this list was tough because if you look at the list, each person on that list had some type of I won't say adversity, but they were dealing with something with this fight and with their fights. And look at Tom Aspinall. Okay, this guy, rising heavyweight. Okay, his big chance to go against Curtis Blaze in London. Okay, big jam-packed crowd. He is the main event for that UFC card. Shreds his knee first round. Barely does anything, shreds his knee in front of this crowd. Comes back, fights, I think it was Tarun, or I pronounce his name, but beats him, and then hey, John Jones can't go. Let's have the interim fight against Sergey Pavlovov. I probably messing his name up, but knocks him out first round, become the interim champion. To have that bounce back of tearing your knee, not knowing if your career is going to be the same, to 2 fights later being the interim heavyweight champion, hats off to Tom Aspinall. That's why I wanted to put him on this list. Next, you got Islam. Okay, Islam beat Alexander Volkanovski in Australia. I already put it as my fight of the year. Okay, now he has to fight him again on 12 days' notice. So I had to knock him down a peg, but he was fighting, another champion on 11, 12 days' notice in Abu Dhabi. A lot of pressure fighting in front of not his people, but the people from his culture. Jam-packed crowd. They love him out there. But he came out as victorious, knocked Volkanovski out. It's pretty bad. And then, let's look at Leon Edwards, okay? Another British man, okay? This man, not only did he knock out Usman in the 5th round, he comes back, defends his belt to prove that it wasn't a fluke because he was losing that fight, and basically outworks Usman in the second fight, even though he did a little poke the eye, grab the gloves, did a little funny business, but he still got the dub in London. I think he's from Manchester. I don't think he's from London, but anyways, it's in England. So he got the belt, and then he defended his title, and then he fights Colby Covington. Huh? What you say?
I said he's from where Paddington is from.
Yeah, Paddington the Bear used to let him borrow his jacket back in the day. He used to rock the blue. At the game later, so he had to switch the boots and everything. But anyways, Yeah, so then next he fights the world's biggest trash talker, Kobe Covington, who makes fun of Leon Edwards' late father, who was killed when he was 13 years old in a nightclub, saying that, I'm gonna take you to all 7 degrees of hell. We're gonna see your father. And I'm like, Kobe, you're such a cornball. Like, you try to apologize and say, oh, it's just to act. No, you don't say that type of stuff. Because like I said in our other video, MMA saved Leon Edwards' life because he was doing crime, things of that nature when his father was murdered. Then he found an MMA gym, turned his life around. He was arrested for drugs and other things, but he turned his life around because of MMA. Look at him now. He's a champion, and your dusty ass lost to him. So screw Kobe Covington for that comment. I hate that guy. But the last fight was probably the biggest upset of the year. I said Grasso, she had the biggest upset of the year, but Sean Strickland, this man, lost to Pereira, got knocked out in the first round, came back the next year, fought 3 times, and in the third fight, he goes against Israel Adesanya, doesn't knock him out, knocks him down. I think was it the first round or second round? He has that little Philly shell, which no MMA fighter can do anything about. Boxing fans, kind of like a shoulder roll, but they call it the Philly shell. But he's translating that style into MMA. So people have no answer for that in the MMA world. And this man embarrassed Israel Adesanya in his home, not his home because I think he's from New Zealand, but
yeah,
regardless, it was he felt the thunder from down under, and he lost his belt to Sean Strickland in front of his peoples. Okay, you wasn't doing those dancing and break dancing, and like you said in the press conferences, he made fun of Israel for having painting his nails, called him the word that they call cigarettes over in Europe, called him all types of stuff, which is hilarious. And yeah, so let's go with my winner.
Clubs, bangers. Clubs, bangers.
That's not my winner.
No, it's not.
Oh, we changed that. But anyways, my winner was Sean Strickland. Okay, Sean Strickland delivered the biggest upset of the year. And whoa, slow down, fingers.
No, you're fine.
Fingers.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm trying to see why that didn't change. My bad.
So anyway, Sean Strickland, you're good. Sean Strickland, threw me off big time. Sean Strickland won
my bad.
the biggest upset. I will tell you, the biggest upset in MMA besides Grasso was Sean Strickland because nobody had him winning, not one person. And it was fun fact about that. I was out in Tyson's at this place called Ship Garden watching the fights with some of the guys, and they had K-pop night at the place I was watching it. So we're surrounded by all these grown adults doing all this Korean pop music and all this stuff while the fights are on. I'm like, where are we? So it was just a bizarre night. I had to throw that out there. Glenn, Jose, Kike, if you're watching, you'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, that Sean Strickland. Somebody jumped on our stuff and corrupted our stuff. We got women showing up. I think it's Flo trying to sabotage it. I think it's Flo. Got to be Flo.
It's probably Flo. And y'all, it was Sean Strickland was his fighter, and I can actually prove that. Let me show you real quick.
No, you got to prove it. No, I said it. They know.
There it is. See, that was the slide that was supposed to show up. I thought that he was picking Islam, and so I think I assumed that. I don't know where I got that from, but it turns out he wasn't. So we do have a Sean Strickland slide. I do want you to know that. It just did not show up because I guess I didn't refresh the slides. But anyways, all right, that's enough of that. Let's get back to what we were talking about. So Sean Strickland is your winner of male Fighter of the Year, again, after defeating Israel Adesanya and taking his belt. And actually, Sean Strickland is the feature of UFC 297, which will be next Saturday. He will be fighting Dricus du Plessis or something like that.
DPP. It's called DPP.
So before we go into our women and male boxers, give us your thoughts on that fight next week happening between those.
Very interesting. I think they're trying to, the fact that they got into it at the last pay-per-view with Sean Strickland telling Gilbert Burns his wife and child move out the way so he can jump behind him and start punching him. There's some bad blood there. If du Plessis wins, Adesanya better get in the ring and challenge him. Just don't say the N-word all the time like an idiot. But this is going to be a tough fight. I don't see du Plessis winning this at all. Sean Strickland, his style, he's on a high right now. He's constant pressure. Du Plessis has power, but I don't think he has the power to stop Sean Strickland from coming forward with that Philly shell, because with that style he does, if you try to hit him, he's going to counter and slip the jab or a hook on you, and you can't. You try to take him down. He has great wrestling. Okay, so I don't see Duplessis. I don't think he has a plan that can stop Sean Strickland. So I got Sean Strickland winning that.
Okay, cool. So you got Sean Strickland successfully defending his belt during that matchup next. That is next Saturday, January 20th, is where you will see UFC 297. That being said, moving on to our final two slides of the evening, which, by the way, I wanted to show you. Boom! It did update.
There we go. Look at that.
Got it.
Technology.
I just had to refresh it. Look at that technology, y'all. I love technology. It's really simple how you can just get something done like that, even though it was on the wrong slides. It took me a couple seconds just to update. That being said, let's move it on to the final two categories. We have Woman Boxer of the Year, and wow, oh wow, these are four of the toughest, best fighters I have ever seen fight in a ring. First of all, we will start in our upper left corner with Alicia Bumgardner, who is just a vicious fighter. I'm going to let Clubby talk a little more about her. I'm a little biased on this one. In your upper right, my girl, the Boricua, like yours truly, wepa. Amanda Serrano. And then in our bottom left, I had to get this picture of her. I know it's not her standing up, but she had so many belts in this picture. I was amazed. So I was like, wow, this is Claressa Shields, the amazing GOAT of women's boxing. And then finally, in our bottom right corner, we have, as the aforementioned Fight of the Year candidate, Katie Taylor, the Irish star who took 2 fights back home and sold out in Dublin. So, my friend, what do you think about these amazing women boxers? And give us your winner.
I mean, you got Katie Taylor, who's just a beast. I mean, this woman's multiple division undisputed, I believe. Claressa Shields, multiple women undisputed. You got Serrano, who's undisputed. You have Alicia the Bumgarner, who I need to call. She is undisputed at 130. The key word is undisputed. The reason why they're on this list because they were best of the best. The reason Serrano doesn't have the WBC, and I'll get into that right now because they're acting a little funny-duddy. But Claressa Shields, multiple division undisputed, and this woman's even fought PFL. Her MMA record is 1-1. Serrano has fought MMA, and she's going back to MMA this year as well. Okay, Katie Taylor, gold medalist, just like Shields. I think Shields a 2-time gold medalist in the Olympics. Katie Taylor's a phenomenal top. These women are the best in women's boxing. You could put in, honorable mention like somebody like a Savannah Marshall or Francine Dezern. There's other women that are close and right there, but these women are the cream of the crop. As Macho Man says, it always rises, okay? And I want to start with Katie Taylor because the only reason I'm going to start with her because she took an L this year, and then she got her L back and won in her hometown this time. So she has got her first professional win in Ireland and another sellout crowd against what was the lady's name? Cameron. She beat her in a 12-round majority decision. So she has all the belts back. You know what I'm saying? So she is the undisputed at 135. Let's go to Claressa Shields. Claressa, I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't have her winning because she only fought once this year. Okay. And yes, I love the fact that she sold out or had more fans in the seats than the Pistons do in that Little Caesars Arena in Detroit because she's from Flint, Michigan. But she only fought once, and I can't jump her in front of anyone else. All right. Bumgarner, I'm telling you right now, I love Alicia Bumgarner. Right now, there is a beef going on between Alicia Bumgarner and Claressa Shields. They have been going at each other. There's recently a video of them being on the same fight. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Let's
go.
Because Bumgarner beat Claressa Shields' partner, Michaela Mayer, who's dating the old punter for the Raiders, the brother. I forgot his name.
Marquette King.
She's dating him, Michaela Mayer. But I don't know, because they won medals together. Her and Clarissa, they're good friends. But now, ever since Bumgarner beat her, they've been going back and forth. Clarissa, she fights at 160. She said she could make 147. Bumgarner said, "Hey, I'm at 130. I can move up to 147." But Clarissa said, "I don't want to move down." So, but right now they're going back and forth about fighting each other. Bumgarner, she is, like I said, what are you doing over there? She's undisputed at 130, but she is she had little issues with the whole steroid allegations. So even though that's past her, she was cleared. That's still a little on her record. People are gonna look at her a little funny duddy, especially because she's a real fit woman. I'm a big fan of hers. I hope the Clarissa Shields fight does happen, but if it doesn't, I'll be happy as well, because I'd just rather fight Katie Taylor.
That'd be
She's
awesome.
5 pounds above you. That'd be a great fight. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So she's already fought in London before, because she fought on Clarissa Shields' undercard against when Clarissa fought Savannah Marshall overseas. But it's one of those things. And last but not least, Amanda Serrano. Okay, Amanda. She fought twice, but you know what? We don't need to get into her too much. Let me tell you who the winner is, because we're going to jump straight into
Bangers.
it. Bam!
Clubs bangers.
I'm going with Amanda Serrano. The reason why I'm going for, even though she fought twice this year. Let's hear it. No, that's not yours.
Yeah.
There we go. Ooh, someone just hit me with a bottle of coquito. Who did that? Anyways, but yeah, I thought I heard a coquito outside or something. I heard some type of frog or something. But yeah, shout out to Puerto Rico, okay? Amanda Serrano, the reason why I put her up there in Trendsetter is because even though she fought twice, she broke the barrier in women's combat sports. I'm sorry, not women's combat sports, but women's boxing. MMA was like this. Now they changed. Women's boxing needs to change as well. She fought a full 30 minutes. I mean, sorry, a 3-minute round, just like the men. Okay, WBC did not want to sanction it, which is just ridiculous, because they think women can't fight for 3 minutes. So the fact that her, and I forgot the other young lady's name out of Brazil,
Danilo Ramos.
There you go. They were the first women ever. It happened in Orlando, Florida on a Friday. I watched it. My brother was writing about it on Facebook, so people were tuned in. A lot of people I know were tuned into this fight. She and Ms. Ramos were the first women ever to box for 3-minute rounds. Okay, that should be the standard for women. Okay, they can box just like men. Okay, it's not the days of you look at women and they can't do the same thing as men. If they're skillful enough, they should have the same stuff as men. All right, so that's why I have her as a women's boxer and Trendsetter, because she basically, the WBC belt, she does not have that anymore, because the WBC will not sanction this fight. All the other major sanctioning bodies sanctioned this fight. They didn't. Okay, Mauricio Suleiman, who's Puerto Rican, their offices are in Puerto Rico. They did not sanction. So that tells you all skin folk and kinfolk. Okay, we say it, but it's across the board. It's across the board. But yeah, Amanda Serrano, that's who I have as my women's field boxer and Trendsetter. She is the standard. Even though she lost, she took that L to Katie Taylor, which I thought she won. I would have gave that to her, or at least a draw in Madison Square Garden. And I was building up to the big fight in Ireland. But Katie Taylor fought Cameron instead, because Serrano was hurt. It's supposed to be part 2, but Serrano got hurt, so they had to move in a different direction. And Katie Taylor lost that fight. I think they fought again. Serrano would have won that fight, because that pressure of fighting at home got to Katie Taylor, obviously, and she lost the first fight, but won the second fight. So I hope they do a second fight of Serrano versus Taylor. I hope that happens in Ireland. It can happen in Woodbridge, Virginia. It can happen in Nashville, Tennessee. It can happen in New Orleans, Louisiana. Wherever it's at, Clubber D will be there.
Yes, sir.
In spirit.
Yes, no, I really hope that it does happen. That being said, I do need to make one correction. She was actually 3-0 this year. I know you forgot she fought Heather Hardy there in the middle of the year, but she did.
Heather Hardy ain't fought in like 3 years, and she was
I know.
That fight was embarrassing.
So there we go. Woman Boxer of the Year and Trendsetter of the Year for her 3-minute rounds in women's boxing is the Boricua badass Amanda Serrano. Shout out,
It's,
Boricua. I cannot wait to meet you, my friend. I hope we meet soon.
And side note, she will be fighting. She's fought MMA before. She's going back to MMA. She'll be fighting in a PFL on ESPN.
That's crazy.
Sometime this
Her
year as
and
well.
Clarissa Shields and Francisco Ngannou, and they just went and got Bellator. Let's go, PFL. Let's
And don't
go.
forget about Jake Paul is a partner. He'll be fighting MMA as well.
Speaking of Jake Paul, who is
Got a
Amanda
question.
Serrano's
Got a question.
manager. Oh, we got a question in the comments. What do we got here? Can you touch on the upcoming Olympics for combat sports? So Clubber D, what are your thoughts on the boxing, wrestling, judo, anything you might think of?
Well, I don't want to jump too much into boxing, but I don't know if they passed MMA for Olympics. I know they were talking about it was on the board, but I would love to see it. But you got to look at the criteria. Are you putting people that's been paid, or are these all amateurs going to be fighting in the Olympics? I will say for boxing, I do like the fact that they took the headgear off and it's straight knockouts. Like they did that about 5-6 years ago. The last Olympics had that. I am a big fan of that. And we'll touch on Olympics a little later because we'll talk about Jake Paul and the Olympic team. Because I had some thoughts about that one. But GB with the questions, man. You were the man. I like this guy. You might get a clubby pretty soon. You keep it up.
Getting the Clubby, GB. We appreciate you chiming in for sure and watching. And everybody, we appreciate you watching as well. Make sure you are subscribed to Ball and Buds, BALLANDBUDS. You can find us on YouTube and Instagram. Please go subscribe and follow. That being said, let us move on to our final category of the night and the hardest one to decide for Clubber D by far. We had some amazing candidates for this. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, in your upper left, I don't even think I need to say his name, but for those of you who may not watch that much boxing, that is the man, Terrence Bud, the illest you-know-what from Nebraska.
That's right.
Crawford, who beat Earl Spence, as Clubber D mentioned earlier, in his last fight on July 29th with a TKO in the 9th round to retain his welterweight undisputed championship. In the second box over to your right, top right, we have Devin the Dream Haney, also undefeated, 31-0 with 15 KOs at the junior welterweight. He had an awesome year as well, last defeating Regis Progress.
Progress, yep. New Orleans zone.
December 9th, with the unanimous decision in 12 rounds. Then we have in the bottom left, the monster, Naoya Inoue, who is 26-0. I'm sorry, I apologize. Please don't beat me up. Please.
It's tough. It's tough.
Butchered it. He is the junior featherweight undisputed champion. And by the way, similar to Amanda Serrano, who is a 7 weight class champion, I believe the monster is a 5 weight class champion. Is that correct? Or 6?
Yeah, I think he started at featherweight, maybe at 115 or
okay,
or maybe right below that.
So
I used to weigh that back in
4.
87, but yeah.
Okay, you never weighed that ever, not even out of the womb. That being said, on December 26th, Inoue beat Marlon Tapales. That was just a few weeks ago. Clubber D did preview that fight. That was a KO in the 10th round. And then finally in the bottom right, you have Anthony Joshua, who just recently defeated Otto Wallin after knocking out Robert Helenius, which Clubber D and I watched live in New Orleans.
Yep.
So that being said, my friend, some amazing boxers here who, they all had great years and could all be the winner here. What are your thoughts on each of those fighters, and who is your winner?
Well, I'll start with Anthony Joshua. I think that picture right there is from when he beat, I want to say,
It was a long time ago. So
it may be. I'm trying to think the fights. I kind of remember that one. I think it's Purev or Klitschko. Either way, Anthony Joshua, man, this guy, he's fought 3 times. He's bounced back from losing to Usyk twice. He's looked good. He's focused. I thought that whole I want to be Nicky Bonds. I want to be all these American drug lords. I want to be people from The Wire. Like, dude, calm down. All right, just eat your little beans on fucking toast. Whatever you guys eat over there, and just calm. You don't have to be all these thugs, whatever. But anyways, so He's fought 3 times. He's focused. He's looking great, and Ngannou better watch out. I'll dive into that one when it's close to that fight. But that's why I have put Joshua up there. He's bounced back phenomenally. He looks good. Even though he changed trainers again and again, he's went from Derek James. Now he's with Ben Davison, who's Fury's old trainer. So he had him for his last fight, and he looked good. This guy looked good. So that's why I had to have him there. You go to Monster Inoue. Monster, I mean, this guy, he beat Stevie Fulton, cool boy Stevie Fulton, and he whooped his tail. Like, he is a littler guy, but he dominated with his power. And I say little guy, he's only like, what, 127, 125, whatever. But Fulton was the bigger guy at that weight class, and he still walked him down and knocked him out in the 7th round. I mean, Monster Inoue, if you look at only fight I seen him kind of with was the first time he fought Nonito Donaire. Donaire, that was a damn good fight. Even though the Filipino Flash was a little older, but it was a damn good fight. That second fight, let's not talk about that. But yeah, so hey, and also GB. We'll go right here. Jollibee, that's Filipino. Bam, Jollibee. I'm with you. I know my stuff. I'm with you, bro. But anyways, Monster Inoue, you know, he is the man. He sells out Japan. I haven't seen sellouts like that and that arena since the Great Muta fought Juice of Thunder Liger back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Wrestle Kingdom 1982. It was ridiculous. I was out there too. You know, I spit the mist in air, but it was really just hair grease. But anyways, let's go to Devin Haney. This man defended his undisputed championship against Lomachenko and won in a close fight. Haters. It could have been a draw. If you gave it to Lomachenko by 1, yes, I could understand that.
Beta Bob.
But he won. Okay? And then he moves up at the weight class, not the one he should be in, but at least a weight class that he's more comfortable at. Because remember that Lomachenko fight, he had to weigh in 3 times just to make that weight. This man's only 25, 26 years old. 3 times undisputed champion. Won the belt in enemy territory against Kambosa in Australia. Defended it against Kambosa in enemy territory. Okay, took less money for these fights. Came to America, defended it against Lomachenko, and then now he's moved up to 140 and has a belt already, has a WBC belt that he beats their boogeyman at the time before Matias Regis Prograis, who had his only loss is to Josh Taylor, which is kind of controversial. He lost to him overseas with Josh Taylor before he came undisputed. He was kind of boogeyman, nobody wanted to fight, and made him look. It was like he put on a boxing class against him. Okay, so that's why we got Devin Haney up there. And last but not least, Bud Crawford, the illest, you know what, from Nebraska. You heard Met the Man from Belly. Okay, Bud Crawford had been chasing Earl Spence for 5 years. We heard every excuse in the book why Earl Spence said he could not fight Bud. Hey man, you on the other side of the street. You don't fight for PBC. Hey man, I'm gonna go the easy route. I'm gonna fight Sean Porter and Danny Garcia and things like that. Hey man, oh, I got in a car accident. Oh, I this. Oh, I that. Then the fight finally happens, and you got taken to school, Earl Spence. Okay. Now recently you're coming out saying that you had to get another eye surgery. And Bud Crawford was like, look, we had to do physicals going through this stuff. Right. Don't try and make all these excuses. If you wanted to fight me 5 years ago, it could happen. You try to age him out because Bud's 35 or 36 years old now. You guys try to age him out, and it didn't work. You got your butt whooped, okay? You won 1 round, and that was the first round. After that, dominated by Bud Crawford. Bud Crawford, to me, is my favorite fighter right now, okay? He's been my favorite fighter for years. Every time Earl Spence would fight, Bud would be in the crowd. They wouldn't let him in the ring because he wanted to challenge him. When Sean Porter crossed the street and fought Bud Crawford, Earl Spence was in the crowd, a little drunk. And when they went after Bud Crawford won, Earl Spence left. He didn't want to go in the ring. So act like this is why I tell people, all you people out there, I said this earlier and I'll say it again. All you Tank Davis, PBC / Earl Spence, you know what, huggers. You guys had those Colgate flavored K-cups for your coffee because your breath stinks. Your nails are dirty when you update and you troll people all day because you do nothing but update Facebook in your socks instead of working. I'm tired of y'all talking mess. Call a spade, okay? I like these guys as fighters, but they don't act like fighters. They act like, oh, no, man, I don't want to fight that guy. Belts don't matter. That's another thing we've heard from them. if belts don't matter, why are you like? What's the point of boxing? Like that's just a way of you saying I don't want to fight the guy at the belt because he might whoop my ass. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's so corny. But yeah, Bud Crawford. That's the fourth guy. And damn it, let's go to that winner.
Clubs, bangers.
Bam!
Clubs,
You see it.
bangers.
That's right, Bud Crawford. You know the main reason why, even though he fought earlier that year against Apparition, then he fought. I think it was a year before December. Either way, he fought Earl Spence. The reason why I'm having as my boxer of the year over Haney, Inoue, or Joshua is because if you look at all the fighters that they fought, nobody is pound for pound top 5 like Earl Spence was. Earl Spence was higher rated than any other fighter. Okay, this was a fight that all the hardcore boxing fans and most casual fans wanted to see. Even though UFC had they had a card the same day, which was stupid, but it did well. So this is why I have Bud Crawford, and he dominated. He didn't just win; he whooped his ass and knocked him out. I think in the 7th round. He didn't knock him out, but the ref stopped it. But it was
he put ass whooping on him. It was an ass whooping.
I mean, I thought he owed him money or something like that. It was bad.
It was like that. Yeah, it was definitely was.
But Bud Crawford, he will get a clubby. He's just building a house right now. I'm gonna send one in the mail. Bud, I got you. I hope that your next fight, if it be at 154 or if you stay at 147, I know Boots Ennis is talking stuff. I know Teofimo Lopez had the audacity to say something about you. Devin Haney mentioned you, but I hope that doesn't happen because Haney's not ready yet. So do what you need to do. If you got to move up to 140, 154, cool. But the rumors of him fighting Canelo, oh, please, no. Don't do that.
That's a bit much, huh?
147 to 168, guys, like people are, oh, yeah, man, hey, Terrence has a chance. No, he doesn't. No. There's weight divisions for a reason. We just saw Charlo from 154 move up to 168.
Get his ass whooped.
Please. Canelo will allow that fight to go like 4 rounds, and then it'd be over with. So just no.
Well,
but yeah.
In honor of Terrence Crawford, let's give him a little Booker T action.
Listen up, man. The fact of the matter is this: on the five-time WCW champion. Now can you beat that?
That's what was 5 years of Earl Spence running. That's what that was.
Yeah. And so shout out to Terrence Bud, the illest you know what from Nebraska. Crawford, your Clubber D's Boxer of the Year and Clubby Award winner will be sent to your house, sir. Thank you for tuning into the Combat Sports Awards. Now, we are not done yet. I don't want you to leave, but we are done with the award portion. Clubber D will be mailing those awards out to all of the lucky recipients. That being said, we do have some other things that we want to talk about before we get out of here today. First of all, Clubber D is going to hit us with his 2024 fight predictions, the fights he most wants to see, the ones he was asking Santa for over the Christmas holiday season. And then after that, we'll get into the mailbag. But thank you for at least joining us today for that Combat Sports Awards portion. So, Clubber D, what do you have for your 2024 fight predictions?
Well, for everybody who's tapped in, who's commented, or text me, or even tapped in for 5 to 10 minutes, even 2 minutes. Thank you. I appreciate you. Okay.
Love you.
We appreciate you. All right. As long as you just tap in, see what we're working with. Okay. If you don't like it, cool. If you do like it, stick around. We'll shout you out. We'll talk about you. But first fight is a fight that's already going to happen. I'm going to say, which is going to be Usyk versus Fury, which is happening next month. That's on everybody's wish list. That should have happened already, but Fury got his bell rung against Ngannou, so that got delayed. That's why they had the Joshua card, December 23rd. Beterbiev versus Dimitri Bivol, undisputed at light heavyweight. We need to see that. That's been 5 years overdue. Maybe 4, close to 5 years, 4 to 5 years overdue. We need to see that. Okay. Beterbiev, if anyone's watching, watch on Saturday. He's fighting Liam Smith. I will say, if you're somebody like me likes football, watch on the ESPN app a little later on. Okay, it's not going nowhere, but check that out. Another fight, Mr. Alvarez, first name Canelo. You've been ducking David Benavidez for the last 2 years.
Come on.
Okay, you're fighting people like John Ryder. You fought last year around my birthday. Exactly, like somebody from the Great Britain, London area, something like that. Who cares? You know, he was a mandatory, but David Morrell's been a mandatory for 3 years.
Canelo, stop ducking people, fool.
Benavidez has been right there waiting. Like, what's going on? That fight should happen, and that fight happens on Canelo's coming back on May 4th, which is my birthday, and that is Cinco de Mayo weekend. Okay, that's a Saturday, so that is my birthday. I'll be turning old enough to date your mother again. And the thing about that is, the rumor is he might fight Jaime Munguia, who's fighting John Ryder at the end of this month on the Zone. Jaime Munguia, it'll be his first fight at 168. He's a 160 guy, like the bigger Charlo, 160, like Andrade, who lost to Benavidez, 160. He's moving up to 168 to fight the guy that Canelo beat last year, John Ryder. That's going to dictate, apparently, if Canelo will fight either him, Big Charlo to avenge his brother, and maybe Benavidez. My guess, they're going to say, you know what? Let's have Canelo fight Jaime Munguia, a smaller guy, kind of like Marvin Hagler did back in the day, fought a lot of middle welterweights that moved up to welterweights that moved up to middleweight. Canelo is doing that now, fighting these lower weight guys when you have mandatories on the table that you should be fighting. That stuff pisses me off with boxing. But backtrack, Canelo versus Benavidez. I would love to see that. If not Canelo versus Benavidez, since they've been talking junk lately, I would love to see Benavidez versus David Morrell. That would be amazing fight, because the reason why we all know, it'll be great, because the reason why he's ducking Benavidez because Benavidez is 6'2", he's my height, and Canelo's a lot shorter dude. But what is he going to do to back him up? You know, Benavidez showed in the Andrade fight that he's working on his boxing skills, not just coming forward all the time. So, you know, that's the main fight that I need to see. Me right here.
Yes, sir. So you heard it here first. Those are the main matches that Clubber D wants to see in 2024. And I will go ahead and throw one in there as well. I want to see Jake Paul versus some relevant boxers. I'm sorry, but who the hell is Andre August? That sounds like Andre Agassi's like low budget like cousin, like second.
I thought it was a younger that messed with Jada Pinkett. You know what I'm saying? Like I thought he was part of the entanglement. You know what I'm saying? Like
he was part of that. What was it? The agreement, the entanglement. That's what it was.
Like who? Like
who is that?
Jake Paul. Okay, I would jump into this in the Olympics with Jake Paul. Jake Paul is good.
Please. How the hell does he make the Team USA? How?
He's not going to make the team. He's not going to make the team, but he's bringing awareness to Team USA. The problem in boxing in America is that we have no young boxers nobody really cares about. We have a few guys that were gold medalists the last go around, and they're fighting, but no one really knows who they are. You have back in the day, like the Olympics. I remember Rojo Jr. got screwed. Mayweather. I mean, there's so many Olympic guys that were like, okay. I never forget Floyd Mayweather, David Reed, Fernando Vargas. Those were the big three gold medalists coming out of America, and they had great careers. David Reed had the eye issue, knocked Trinidad down, but lost to Trinidad, and then his career went off after that. But you know, Fernando Vargas, amazing fighter. You know, that fight against Trinidad, if he never got, I thought he fought Trinidad too early in his career. And you all know who Floyd Mayweather is. He's a freaking beast. So we haven't had that big crop of American gold medalists to move to that next level. Now, what Jake Paul's doing with him bringing more awareness to get people to pay attention to the sport, I'm a fan, because if you look at how much he makes with YouTube and other things, you say what you want to say about him, but at least he's getting people to pay attention to boxing. And that's the whole point. I'm happy that he's doing that. So I can't take that away from him. Same thing way in MMA field where he talks about Dana White not paying his fighters. He's linked up with PFL. He wants to fight for them and bring more awareness to fighter safety, fighter insurance, health insurance, because these guys are independent contractors with the UFC. With these other companies, they're getting a little more of a piece of the pie. So I'm all for that. Now that part, that's the good. The in between, the stupid antics. The bad is the fighting these dudes that are be waiting outside of Home Depot waiting for work. Just fight anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't care what color, what creed you are. If you have a pulse and you know what boxing is, he'll fight you. And he'll size the thing up like you were somebody special. So that's the bad with Jake Paul. Good awareness of the sport, helping out the fighters, helping out MMA and boxing, helping out America, trying to find new fighters for America for the next crop, for next generation. Yes. The bad, like I just said, fighting bums, act like you're the best in the world.
Okay, I thought he made the team. I thought that.
I don't think. I know he did a thing saying like, we're gonna get fighters, but he's a pro fighter, so I don't know if he can make the team.
I was gonna say, yeah, okay, that makes sense. All right, well, we got a question from Bottom Line Sports. Shout out Flo. What is the heavyweight match we need to see in the upcoming year?
Well, what up, Flo? Hopefully we see Flo on Sunday. That's the fierce leader of the Bottom Line. That's my guy right there. That's shout out to Flo doing his training thing. You know what I'm saying? So the thing with heavyweights, the biggest fight here is going to be Usyk versus Fury. That is for undisputed. All the belts are on the line. We will have. After that fight, we will know who is the biggest and baddest man on this planet.
That'll be the lineal too, right?
That's everything. It's the lineal, WBC, WBA, WBO, IBF, lineal, Ring Magazine. We will find out who is the baddest man on the planet come February. All right. It's out in Saudi Arabia. I might go to that fight. It depends on my visa because, I mess with some Habibis out there. Anyways. But anyway, so it's one of those things where we're going to, and then next month, we're going to find that out. And then March 9th, a famous line, the greatest rapper of all time, died on March 9th. That will be Joshua versus Ngannou. Francis Ngannou's fighting Anthony Joshua. So that's going to be a big card with Wilder versus Yang on the undercard. That's supposed to happen too. So that's another big heavyweight. We're front loaded with heavyweight fights this year. Okay. So if you do not have the zone, you can always order it, or you can be dusty like everybody else and then steal it. But whatever, I don't condone that.
I'll be taking that. Has Ryan Garcia fought again after the Tank fight? No.
Yes, he has. He fought Durante. He was I talked about last time he was doing the shoulder roll. It was terrible. Right. He fought. It was not that good. I mean, he won, but he didn't look great. Now he's fighting Rolly Ramirez, the WBA champion, who shouldn't be the WBA champion, but he'll be fighting him next. Oscar De La Hoya said they're already in negotiations after he broke off negotiations with Devin Haney because he knew Devin Haney would put him through a masterclass. But my problem with that is, can he make 140? Because when he fought Durante at 140, he was overweight. He's like 142. Can he make 140? That's the real problem. Real question.
And Rolly Ramirez was the one that got knocked out by Tank Davis, right?
Yeah, he got knocked out, and then Mr. Weeks, I call him Mr. Weeks, the referee, gave him, kind of stopped the fight when he was fighting the last dude. I forgot his name, but they call him Paul because he's like 40 years old, and he's knocking people out. But he had Rolly running the whole fight, and then Rolly got off one time in the corner, and he stopped it prematurely. And Rolly was losing that fight, and now he's WBA champion because of that at 140. Wow. So it's a lot of controversy,
And so has Ryan lost his confidence?
I mean, to me, Ryan was never good. He's not good. He's just a good prospect. He's not his
and a good promoter.
His YouTube and Instagram fame is through the roof, but boxing skills, no, he's not. He should never that fight should never happened because they're not even on the same level. Ryan is popular, yes, but in the boxing sense of things, no, he still does rookie mistakes. He's changed trainers multiple times. And now Ryan just recently said, I'm divorcing my wife and bringing in a new child at the same time, same day. Like he's talking about he's celebrating the birth of his third child
right
And-
after his wife gave birth, like he
Yeah.
announced he was divorcing her
Yeah.
or something. Like, what a
This is-
piece of shit you are.
He has like 3 kids by like 2 different. Like Ryan got a lot of stuff for a young guy. He's dealing with a lot. Okay, and that's why they say his focus and head's not in the game. I don't take him serious because of all this other stuff he's had in his whole career. I give him credit for bringing people that don't watch boxing into boxing, but he's not like a Haney or Shakur. He's not like a top guy, even though he's fought those guys in the amateurs. He's not really a top guy. They're spoon feeding him certain people. He fought Tank. Tank should never even fought him because Ryan's never fought a champion besides Tank. Before that, like, why do you deserve this fight against Tank? I didn't understand that.
No,
But
you're right. I mean, I believe it was because of his social media presence, right?
Yeah,
All the
they sold a lot,
popularity.
that part I do like about him. But it is what it is.
All right. Well, thank you for the questions, Flo. We appreciate it. Be safe on that bus ride out there to Irwin. We appreciate
sir.
you and all of our soldiers out there and veterans fighting for our freedom. Thank you all. Be safe out there. Moving on to the next mailbag, or the first mailbag question, rather. Excuse me.
Stanley.
Picking up on earlier, you had mentioned about PBC fighters crossing the road, and we actually have a question on that from On the Spence, which, by the way, that's a very clever name, On the Spence.
I like it.
PBC fighters crossing the road to get smoked. What's up with that?
Well, I mean, if you look at the track record, every PBC fighter they've hyped up throughout the years, they always think this is a mantra of PBC. Let's spoon feed you certain types of fighters that are in-house, so you don't have to spend money outsourcing other fighters. You don't have to say, you know what, we're not going to raise competition. So Gervonta Tank Davis, we're going to have you fight Isaac Cruz instead of fighting Lomachenko or fighting this person, that person. And then the excuse will be, well, we don't care about belts. The what? Why are you fighting?
Right.
So that's their way of kind of ducking people. But you look at the track record of PBC fighters venturing across the street and what has happened. You got Charlo moved up 154. So that's 154, 160, up to 168. 2 weight classes to fight Canelo. You saw what happened. I don't count Canelo as a PBC fighter because he's not a PBC fighter. So you got him embarrassed. You have now I give him credit. Cool boy Stevie Fulton went to Japan to fight Inoue. He petitioned for this fight. He said he wanted this fight. I like him. I'm a big fan of his. But unfortunately, it's a PBC fighter across the street, and he got that work by Inoue, knocked out in the 7th round, I believe. You have Deontay Wilder multiple times with Fury fighting somebody across the street, top rank. You saw what happened. Now he's fighting He fought Joseph Parker out in Saudi Arabia. Got that work. You got Earl Spence fighting Terrence Crawford. Somebody he avoided for 5 years and said, "Oh, hey man, you across the street. I ain't gonna fight you." You saw what happened. He got that work. So the problem with these PBC fighters is that when you spoon feed them a certain type of fighter and not have them fight the top fighters and make these excuses like, "Oh man, belts don't matter. We don't need belts. We trying to get money." Gervonta Davis, if he was that big of a star, he would have a network deal, but he doesn't. Canelo has a network deal with Showtime, so the next 2 Canelo pay-per-views will be Showtime pay-per-views. Even though they're done with boxing, they're still going to support Canelo as a fighter. All right, so if Gervonta Davis was at this high level of he's the face of boxing, he would have a network deal. Pitbull just pulled out the fight that he was supposed to get with him on Amazon because Amazon deal with PBC is just promotional. It's not we're fronting the money. Amazon just saying you can show the fight on our network, but we're not paying no fighters. All right. Al Heyman has to pay these fighters. So PBCs they have a problem right now. So a lot of their fighters might be on the shelf. That's why if you're not fighting at least three to 4 times a year, like Canelo staying active, that's why they're losing. They're not active. They're not active fighters. They spoon feed them bums. So it is what it is.
So what I am ascertaining from your comments there is that PBC habitually sets their fighters up with lesser than opponents, which does not set them up for success in the future. And then on top of that, does not keep them active enough with those bum fighters.
Pretty much. I mean, you look at somebody like Danny Garcia, you look at somebody like Arizona Lara. These guys haven't fought in years. You know, Charlo 160 when he fought David Benavidez, his brother Jose Benavidez, he hadn't defended. He still hasn't defended his 160 WBC belt in over 2 years. That was his first fight in 2 years. So how on earth is he still champion after moving up to 168 and not defending his belt at 160? Why was he still champion all this time? Okay, right. So that's the problem with PBC fighters. They kind of spoon feed them certain fighters that are in house because it's less money. You don't have to outsource. And then when they do outsource, they're not winning. Okay, there's a reason why Tank has not fought a Devin Haney or Lomachenko. Tank's excuse he said was, "I don't ask for fights. They just tell me who to fight." What?
Oh, jeez Louise.
What?
Well, then why
you don't say you want to fight these guys?
Right.
Yeah, like what? They make, because fighting's turned into unfortunately the hip hop mantra, where in hip hop world you could say, "Oh yeah, my favorite rapper's Common. I like what he says." Well, I don't care. I like so and so. He made so and such money. I don't care about the money. What's his lyrics sound like? So it's turned into one of those things where it's people are pocket watching, worried about how much money others are making, instead of saying, "What's the art? How good are they fighting?" You know, like it's kind of flip flopped, and now they're kind of learning that it's not working. All right, because these networks aren't going to put the money up for these bum fights. You had Caleb Plant against David Benavidez, which was a good fight. That's not a pay-per-view fight. You should not charge people $80 for that fight.
Not at all.
So when people stream and do things like that, yes, I judge, but I understand also, because I wouldn't pay $80 to watch that fight. No, get out of here.
Right. And so speaking of that, we have a follow-up question from Flo. What is the next fight for Gervonta Tank Davis?
Well, he was supposed to kick off the whole Amazon PBC deal, which would be smart to take less money. But when you pay a fighter a certain amount, I think he made like close to 20 mil or something high like that. I could be wrong, but he made good money against Ryan Garcia because they had a lot of people watching that fight.
Right. Yeah.
So he's new school. So he's like, hey, if I made this much already, I need to make this much my next fight. They don't want to pay. Like Al Haymon was like, hey, that's coming out of my pocket. So I don't want to pay you that. So now they're having issues. It was supposed to be Pitbull Part 2, but that fight might not happen in March. So really, I don't know who he's going to fight. I really don't know. Maybe Frank Martin, who ducked Shakur Stevenson.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
he ducked him. He was going to make way more money, but chose to duck him anyways. But Tank is the A side. He's the guy at 135. Even though he has no belts, he's the guy. So you got Lomachenko fight George Kambosos pretty soon in Australia. That's gonna be a big fight. You got Shakur, who's called out Navarrete for him to move up.
I like that.
To 135. That would be a good fight.
I like that.
But Tank, you have to fight somebody with a name. He'll be 30 years old next year. Does not have a marquee fight to his name. No one big. So he has to fight someone big, but who's out there for him to fight?
Right.
You know, I honestly don't know who's going to fight. And there's always been the thing about kind of like Mayweather when he's older in his career, he didn't want to fight the brothers. I kind of see Tank being the same way. I think they'll find some way to fight Pitbull Cruz. They'll find some way to do that. Okay. Pitbull Cruz is already saying he wants to fight Ryan Garcia at 140. Even though Ryan Garcia, there's a catch weight at 142 if he can make 140, but Pitbull's already saying he wants to fight Ryan Garcia instead of Tank. But I think they're going to talk to him and just have him fight Tank anyways in March. So my bet would be Tank versus Pitbull.
All right, so Tank versus Pitbull Cruz there for you. That's your answer, Flo. Thanks for that question. Moving on to the next mailbag question from the username Miami Game Bread. There is a rumor out about Jorge Ruben. Ruben, did you submit this question? Jorge Masvidal in a boxing match versus Nate Diaz. Is this really going to happen and not in MMA?
Shout out to my man Ruben, aka the Rubik's Cuban. So that's a rumor. It's supposed to be Masvidal versus Nate Diaz in boxing. Wow. I know Game Bread has his variation of bare knuckle MMA, which is pretty cool. It's literally like a street fight. You know, there's rules, but it's kind of like a street fight because you're taking people down, they're elbowing them, and you're no gloves. I like the concept, but excuse me. Yeah, it's in negotiations. Nate Diaz versus Masvidal in boxing sounds phenomenal. Sounds great. Will I watch it? Hell no.
No,
Hell
I'm
no.
not gonna wait.
Not at all. No.
But it's not gonna be bare knuckle either. It's gonna be
No,
gloves,
boxing.
right?
Regular boxing. Regular
Man,
boxing.
no, if it was bare knuckle, I'd watch it.
Maybe bare knuckle, but Diaz has so much scar tissue on his face, he'd bleed easy. But
Yeah.
I put it like this. I remember when he fought Jake Paul, and I said Jake Paul will probably allow him to go a certain many rounds, but with the whole distance, I thought it was gonna be a knockout by Jake Paul because boxing, MMA, two different things.
Right.
Having these two guys that aren't great boxers, traditional boxers, yeah. So it's kind of like, oh, flip a coin, who might win? But you know, I'd watch highlights, but would I pay for it? No.
But wouldn't you rather see this in MMA? I would love to see this in MMA.
Yeah, we already saw it.
I know, but I like to see it again. I like watching Nate Diaz. I like watching both of them fight.
We saw it on Hainsworth's wedding night. We went to that bar.
Right. Yeah,
And
that's right.
Nate got kicked and in the cut. They had to stop it, and The Rock came and gave him the belt,
That's
BMF
right.
belt.
Yep.
But you know,
I remember that.
if they fought again, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
They're a little old. They're a little older in the tooth, as you would say.
Oh, they gotta be pushing 40 or at 40.
Okay.
Gotta be.
All right. Well, next mailbag question, following up on that, a little more MMA action from Irish Drunken Monkey. Nice username. Will we actually see McGregor fight Chandler this year, or there are rumors about him fighting Pacquiao? Would that happen instead?
Yeah, there's a lot of smoke to that fire with Pacquiao. He's going to be doing an exhibition against a famous kickboxer, Birkin. I forgot the dude's name, but he's going to be doing a 4-round exhibition with that. It looks like he's going to the exhibition realm because he's going to be supposedly fighting Mayweather in an exhibition in Japan with the Ryzen organization. Ryzen's kind of like the Dream / Pride organization over in Japan with MMA. So they might be doing that. So I can see Pacquiao and McGregor because McGregor said he did say he's going to fight Chandler. He did say that, but he said the weight class. I'm not sure if he was joking at 170, but if you look at McGregor, Joe Rogan and I forgot Derek from More Place, More Dates. He's big into like steroids, so all that stuff. And they were saying, like, look at his face structure, how ballooned he got up. He's definitely taking something. And that's why Nevada didn't have him taking the test and all that good stuff. And then
he
they're
did
not
look
with
a
Nevada
little
anymore.
fat in the face when I saw his little post yesterday or the day before. I was like, man,
but they're saying that, you know, that's going to happen. But Mayweather announced a fight against Chandler. Will they fight? I think they will. I think that fight will happen. But I don't think it'll be at 300. I think it'll be maybe a 301 or something like that. But I do see him fighting Pacquiao at least by maybe in November timeframe or September timeframe. I can see that happening. I definitely see that happening.
And actually, before we move on, we do hope to see that fight for sure, because it's been talked about for almost a year now. But also, let's go ahead before we move on to the rest of the questions. Let's first of all promote our next show. Our next show for certain, y'all, will definitely be for UFC 298, February 17th, Saturday. So make sure you check us out then. But as you know, we may always pop on early with the impromptu combat sports special. So please go ahead and subscribe to @BallandBuds, BallandBuds on YouTube, so you can stay updated and see every time we go live. That being said, I do want to touch on this 300 card because boy, oh boy, this card just keeps getting more and more stacked. Today they announced a Weili Zhang versus Yan Xiaoshan women's strawweight bout, which is just wowzers.
First China versus China fight.
That's why I asked, because I thought you had mentioned that before. They've never had that before, right?
Never. I love it.
Wow.
You know, like I said earlier, you know, MMA is a global sport, so you can't just say one region just has it on lock. Everybody's learning MMA. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you're Brazilian. You just say, "Oh yeah, Brazilians they just know jiu-jitsu." No, Vanderlei Silva, the Judo Boxing Academy, all those guys out there with Shogun, Hua, and all those guys prove that no, they can throw hands too. So China, they're gonna go at it. You know what I'm saying?
And they were put in the main event. It was put in the main.
Yeah, that because they know these two young ladies can go. You know, it's not gonna be a traditional. Okay, let's wrestle over a striker. Wrestle over a striker. No. They're going to stand up, and as my brother liked to say back in the day, put them D beaters on somebody. Yep. You know, and it's one of those things, and I cannot wait for that fight. That fight, you know, if you all you dusty folks, like I said, those Colgate flavored K cups, okay. Order UFC 300. Okay, this one you will not be disappointed. Okay, trust me.
No,
all y'all with
I agree with you.
And dirty fingernails. Do it, please.
I am one of those stank breath, dirty fingernail streamers. So I will take.
No, you're not. Don't. You would never incriminate yourself like that. How dare you? How dare you implement that you would do that?
I'm not that dusty. I'm not that dusty.
And admit to that online. You stop joking.
I would never do such a thing.
Miss Maria's watching.
That being said, it is an amazing card though. That is your main event, which you said they're going to throw some of them nub beaters, and it's going to get kind of crazy in there. Also, the co-main event, Prochazka, our boy Yuri versus Alexander Rakic. Look at this. Aljamain Sterling, a former great, not a former great, he is a great, but a former champion just of last year, is not even in the main or co-main. He's in the third fight versus Calvin Kattar. That's just crazy how stacked it is.
He's moving up to 140-45, you know what I'm saying? A better weight class for him, you know? So it's and just Yuri Prochazka against Rakic. Rakic, yeah, because he's actually Serbian. My neighbor is Serbian, and he always has to school me on all Serbian people, but and how to pronounce it, like Jokic and shit like that. But that's gonna be a good fight. You know, this card so far is amazing. 300. I hope they can pull out some of the surprises they were talking about or rumored to have fight on this card. I'm not gonna say things. I don't want to jinx it because I have a thing with jinxing things, but I know Brock Lesnar's not going to come back. I was hoping that would happen. You know what I'm saying? DC, he's eating towards Popeye, so he's not coming back. But I think they got probably 2 to 3 surprises that's going to have everybody go crazy as far as the fight.
All right, I'm excited.
And I'm not going to say anything. We're going to wait to the next one. I might hint at the next one. And if we meet before then, that might happen as well. All right? Shout out to everybody still sticking with us, okay? Appreciate you.
Hey, we're on our last 2 questions. We really appreciate you sticking with us. It was an extra special Combat Sports edition. We had our Combat Sports Awards earlier from Clubby, so it was a fun time. If you missed that, please go back and make sure you catch that. That being said, our last 2 mailbag questions. One comes from PIF Money, so we know they talking that Saudi money we were talking about earlier. They ask, will Francis Ngannou actually become a true boxing title contender with a win over Joshua after already beating Fury?
Well, he didn't beat Fury, but he had a good fight against Fury.
I'm sorry, yeah, right. He didn't beat
the
him.
WBC did rank him. Suleiman did rank him. Shout out to Puerto Rico again. If he beats Joshua, 100%, he will be in the running to get a title shot.
Woo,
and it looks like they're separating the belts a little bit with all these mandatories. At least one mandatory. The IBF will be most likely stripping the winner because they're mandatory. So that might happen. So there's an easy way to become a champion to kind of prove to all the naysayers, like he's already done with Dana White. Dana White saying he's not going to make money doing these boxing matches when he's already with one fight. He's made more than
in his whole UFC career.
Yeah, more than that, and then he's going to fight again and probably double or triple that. So Ngannou did the correct way and what he's come from in Cameroon. You know, just the way he used to work on the railroads and digging ditches and stuff like that. And to
salute.
You know, just I love it. You know, people have to struggle. It is what it is, and if he wins or looks good against Joshua,
I mean, that's
he
big.
will definitely put himself in the line to fight. If he doesn't get a belt, he can put himself in position to at least take another big name on, you know what I'm saying, in the heavyweight realm. Because where do you go from Joshua and where can you go from Joshua and Fury? You have to go Wilder, Yang, Joe Joyce. Like one of these big guys that can punch. I say Joe Joyce because he's a name in Great Britain. He sells out over there, so he can definitely go over there and fight somebody. But he could. I would say, regardless of what happens, this Joshua fight, his next boxing fight, if he chooses to stick with boxing, will be somebody in any of the 4 belts top 5 rankings.
So let me pose this scenario. Let me pose this scenario then. A professor follow-up. Let's say that Ngannou defeats Joshua and Usyk defeats Fury. Do we see Joshua get a shot at Usyk, or is that too much? Too soon?
So if they don't strip him of the IBF belt, which they probably will, that guy will probably be Philip Pavlovich. I forgot. He fought on Philip something. But anyways,
Hrgovic.
Yeah, Hrgovic. Yeah, there you go. He would probably be the next one up because Joshua was going to fight him after the Usyk versus Fury.
Because he's the mandatory, right?
He's the mandatory. So he would probably get first crack unless he got step aside money to sit down and shut the hell up. So he'd be it. But Ngannou would be like right there, right next, fighting somebody that's kind of close. Like Yang. Yang is, I think, the WBO regular WBA. He's one of those other belts, regular champion, beating Joe Joyce, because he's right there for a title shot as well. And they're saying him versus Wilder on the undercard. So Ngannou would be in that mix of fighters, maybe a Frank Sanchez, or Effie Obodo, Effie something. He's like a tall Nigerian fighter. He's really good. Looks like Wilder, but yeah, he'd be in that mix though, fighting the top fighters, ready to, maybe a David Du Bois. David Du Bois would beat Big Baby Miller, and you got Big Baby Jared Anderson, who's an American. He's there also. So
and so I guess another follow up to that. Let's say that Ngannou does beat them. Let's say that he doesn't get Usyk. Maybe he gets another fighter. Now I'm going to merge in another scenario for you, an MMA scenario mixed into this boxing, because we've been waiting a long time for Jon Jones and Stipe Miocic to fight, and we are not sure that it is going to happen. But you have Tom Aspinall out there who should be getting that Jon Jones fight. So first of all, talk to me about Jon Jones and how that plays in. And then also, if Jon Jones were to fight Aspinall and maybe Miocic can beat them, could we see Jon Jones go to PFL to fight Ngannou?
Nah, I mean, unless Dana White lets him go, he's UFC 2 is hard. He ain't going nowhere.
Okay.
That'd be hard for, it'd be tough. Dana White stuck to this guy he
gave him so many chances.
Chances, all the drug use and hitting DUIs and smacking strippers and DUIs with strippers in the car, hitting pregnant women and running from the car, to steroids. Jon Jones has had 1,000 lives. He owes them. I don't see. And everybody who knows me knows that I criticize Jon Jones to a T. Okay. But I will never bet against him because I always lose when I do. Even when I feel that I was right. So certain fights like the Reyes and Gustafsson first fight, I thought he lost those fights, but whatever. He hasn't lost. So it takes a lot. He's like Canelo of UFC, okay? You really have to, you have to really, that's him popping up on me, pause. But, you really have to do something to beat him. You got to knock him out cold. Aspinall, he's like a young Frank Mir. Not because he's white and tattoos with curly hair, it's because he's light on his feet, he has good submissions, and he can stand up. So Aspinall, I would love to see him fight Jon Jones, but Jon Jones has got another surgery, so it's delaying him with Stipe. And I'm like, I understand Stipe is the greatest heavyweight of all time, but Stipe ain't fought him forever, and he lost his last fight, I believe, to Ngannou. Got
Right,
knocked
he got
out.
knocked out. Yep.
You know, he got hit so hard, it looked like Flacco when he got the concussion with the Ravens. Like,
and that was 3
he's
years
like,
ago
check, please.
too.
Yeah, he's
So,
like, check, please. Like, Stipe is older. He's like 42.
Yep.
You know, so like, how? I don't
So
like.
do you think that fight should just be completely off the table and that
it should be
Jones should
scrapped.
fight Aspinall? Okay.
It should be scrapped. He should fight Aspinall. He fought Cyril Gahn, who can't wrestle and has confidence issues when he fights, and he beat him, which is great. But no, I need to see more of John Jones. And yes, he does. He's been granted this leeway, but it's like, come on, bro. Like, I don't want to discredit the man because he is the GOAT of our era of MMA, but there's like asterisks with his GOATness because it's like you have this much of inactivity. You know, your highlights when you first started were great, but what the hell have you done for me lately? That's what I want to know.
Okay. And then this final question actually comes from me. It's a professor question. Will we see another double champion this year? So you could look at Islam, you could look at Leon Edwards, you could look at, a few others out there. Could we see another double champion this year?
I would say the best chance for a double champion will be Islam.
Okay.
If he moves up and fights
they're talking about.
Leon Edwards. So Leon Edwards needs to get through Bilal Muhammad. Okay.
Ooh, remember the name.
Remember the name Muhammad. Like, that's my guy right there. He should have had his title shot instead of Kobe Covington. I know Chimaev is training. He's a training partner of Bilal Muhammad. I feel like Bilal Muhammad, he fought Leon, but it was an eye poke, so he had to stop the fight.
Yep.
Leon's on a great winning streak, but he needs to get that win right with Bilal. If Bilal wins, will it be a rematch, or will Islam get to jump the line and just fight Bilal Muhammad? You know what I mean? So it'll be one of those weird things. But I think the closest person that can be a double champ is either Bilal Muhammad or if
well, Leon Edwards could move up too, right?
Sean Strickland would smoke him. Sean Strickland, he's too small. Because you got to understand, in the UFC, this is weird in the UFC. So you got your 135 champ, 145 champ, 155 champ. That's 10 pounds. Okay. When you go from 155 to 170, that's 15 pounds right there.
Yeah.
170, 185, that's 15 pounds right there. So I could be Sean Strickland at 185. Leon comes up, fights me at 185. On fight day, I could be 200 or something if I'm Sean Strickland.
Right.
Leon might be
190
something. Yeah, he might not be as heavy. So there's problems with that 15 pounds, which I don't. It's stupid. It should be 10, 10, 10, and 10. I don't like the 15. 15 stupid. Right. So that's the issue with moving up like that. And the reason why like George St. Pierre never fought Anderson Silva, because he's like, I don't know if I can make that 185, And then he moved up eventually years later and fought Bisping because he knew he could beat Bisping. But that stopped a lot of people, like even Anderson Silva moving up to 205 at the time fighting John Jones. But he did do that a couple times. Once or twice moved to 205 fighting Stephan Bonner. But, it's Forrest Griffin. So it's one of those things,
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you so very much. A huge thank you to our UFC and Combat Sports Insider, Clubber D, the Combat G. My friend, my brother, thank you for blessing us with your Combat Sports Awards, the Clubbers. That was such an amazing time. I'm going to cut those up and actually put each segment out on YouTube tomorrow. So be looking out for all those segments as well. Go ahead and subscribe at Ball and Buds, BALLANDBUDS. You see it down there on the bottom of your screen. Go ahead and subscribe there because, like I said, we're going to be coming back on February 17th for UFC 298. But honestly, that's 5 weeks from now. We'll probably pop in on again in between.
Most likely.
And you're going to want to know when that happens. So make sure you subscribe. Also, go ahead and join on Facebook, The Bottom Line Sports, and you can catch Clubber D and myself. We'll be on there the next few weeks, especially while Flo is on deployment. Clubber D is taking his spot for the time being. Also, you can catch our podcast right up there, Zencaster.com. /ball-buds-sports sports entertainment. You can find us there, and you'll be able to catch all the episodes. That being said, my friend, let's go ahead and hit them off with our sign-outs and get out of here. If there's anything else you have to say or anything else you want to bless us with before we leave.
Hey, I appreciate everybody tapping in. You know what I'm saying? You can check me out. I pop in every once in a while on Ball and Buzz on their show. They do a phenomenal
bottom line.
Ball and Buzz. So bottom line. You see, it's late Eastern time. It's almost 10 o'clock. It's late, but you guys stayed with us, so I love it. But yeah, I tap into Bottom Line. Flo's doing his thing. He might come back Sunday. You never know. But I'm like a mercenary. I'm like a werewolf. You tell me to come, I'll come. I can't just. I'm a vampire. I'm sorry. I can't just jump in there. All right. So, but yeah, I'm here. I'm there. I'm everywhere. If you haven't seen my golf swing, check it out. I almost got 3,000 views on YouTube Shorts.
Sure did on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah. So we try to go viral. Okay. We need y'all. Help us out. Share us. Like us. Okay. I want to see us grow. All right. We see everyone else is growing. We need to grow as well. So I need the bottom line. I want 2,000 at least in the next 3 months by the Bottom Line Sports. Okay. If they're eating, we're eating. We're all a family together. So, hey, it's your main man, Clubby, the Combat G, and a place to be. And thank you for tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in. We love you. Clubby, the Combat G, the sports professor. We out. Ball and Buds. Yeah. Go get your Stanley Cup or whatever that is.
Go get a Stanley.
He's with the millions.
It's that world heavyweight flow. Championship belt wrapped around my waist, yo. I got that Ric Flair figure flow. Slam you on the pavement, that's why they call me Street Pro. Create heat on beat close. Like Jordan after the second time he three-peated, folks. Get ready, set, let's go. Fight toe to toe, release the flow created by this mic pro. Lights, camera, get low. Action packed, back to back. In fact, this monster will grow. Y'all better let him know. Man with the master plan, and you have no need to know. Hard like winter cold. Bust these fools, anything less than killing whack rappers is a crime. I stay trying to get mine. Stacking value, packing venues, winning over time. Ain't no fine timeline. Open your eyes, you're looking for the best, and this is what you find. Game is only for the bold. You came prepared, now get ready for the show.
Introducing from parts unknown, your UFC and combat sports insider, Clubby, the Combat G, and the sports professor.